Hello and welcome to day 152 of 365 days of Facebook Live. My name is Jessica Lozano. I'm a women's relationship and feminine embodiment mentor, and I help women have extraordinary love lives with the love of their life, whether you are single and in preparation for union, in preparation for being found by your king, or if you're in union already and you're looking to continue to expand your relationship and continue to make it extraordinary. Get out of plateaus and remember the love that you had and the connect and that excitement that you had when you first met, because that's how our relationships are. The undercurrent should be that. So the way I do this is through de-armoring our masculine energy that has been really running the show, trying to protect our feminine, or just because we've been taught to be like this. Awakening or restoring our relationship with the masculine, huge piece when it comes to us women. Awakening our feminine embodiment through the full spectrum of who we are as women, our dark and light feminine energies, our sacred sexuality work, which is so huge, especially when we're talking about having union and having a relationship with the love of our life. We want to be in the circuitry of lovemaking, of sex, of this creative life force that is circulating between you and your lover. That is really important and very spiritual and also very fun, right? There's a lot of primal aspects to that. So this is what I do. Now, one of the key things of how I work with my women so that they can have these types of extraordinary love lives and just being so solid in who she is as a woman that has so much gifts to bring in a relationship is shadow work. Shadow work. Shadow work is half of the puzzle. Embodiment work is the other half of the puzzle. And this is what creates a new identity, right? When we're merging into a new identity, we have to shed the old in order to create space for the new. So there was a question asked inside of the Finding the One Masterclass, where with one of the questions, one of the women was feeling a little bit resistance with physically actually writing down how her relationships with her partners, how that reflected with her. So I thought this was a great question, number one. And I love this woman. She always has the best questions. And I love how she's just always willing to put her heart in the front and just be so vulnerable with where she is. I love it so much. So I felt like this is a great question, because when it comes to shadow work, it can be intimidating if we don't have these 4 things that I'm going to share with you, because we can get lost in the underworld and we can actually spiral down versus create the upward spiral that we want, or the looping effect of the death and then rebirth, the death and rebirth, and then going back up. So number 1, there's 3 things that you want to look at here. Number 1, you want to make sure that you're coming from a place of an observer and witnesser. What do I mean by that? When we are bringing to light things from the past, we can be very emotionally entangled with our behaviors, with our actions, things that were done to us, the way that we reacted. There can be a lot of judgment, a lot of shame and embarrassment when we look at our past. And we're like, oh my God, how could I do that? How was I attracting something like this? Why? There's a lot of judgment that can be placed on us when we're just entangled in it and not removing ourselves like the observer. And this is a teaching inside of the Course in Miracles that I love so much. That was one of the basis that I'm really glad that it was my first spiritual awakening was with the Course in Miracles, because it teaches that you are the observer. That you are the observer and you're choosing either fear or love, right? Basically these two main emotions that we have, and this is the polarity, fear or love. And fear is anything that's around that low, denser, lower vibration emotions and energies and frequencies. And then love is all of the higher, lighter, expansive emotions and frequencies, right? So when we are the observer, we can look at things and be like, oh, like you're observing like a scientist. You're removing your emotion. You're removing your attachment to your old self. And you're just saying like, oh my God, wow. I totally see how I was a match for this. I can totally see my unconscious behaviors, the way I was walking around in the world at that level of consciousness, which was most likely very unconscious. I can see how that behavior attracted this kind of man and allowed and why I decided to choose this partner, right? I can see why. And when you take that observer effect, that you are the witnesser and you are the chooser, which means you get to choose once you bring the unconscious to conscious, which is what you're doing when you're taking the observer stance, and you're like, okay, this is what happened. I can see that. I can see how this person, when they said that, this is how I reacted. I can see how I said this, why that person would react, right? Bringing the unconscious conscious and then removing yourself from it. Not saying like, I'm a shitty person. Why did I do that? Why did I allow that? Like, and making yourself wrong, right? The fact that you're able to be in the future and look back at your actions shows that you're bringing your level of consciousness up. Like up, and that's really good. So that in itself, you should feel really good about and really proud about. And then looking back and saying like, okay, I understand now. I'm understanding myself, because you're not going to be able to heal what you're not aware of, right? Shadow work is all about bringing the unconscious to the conscious, right? Our behaviors with men, our behaviors with ourselves, our woundings with ourselves, our relationships with our parents, bringing the unconscious conscious so that you can make a decision and change and evolve and grow, right? So really looking at it, emotions, releasing emotions and any meaning to it. That's what it means by being the witnesser. You're releasing the meaning of what you did or what was done to you. Instead, okay, I think I can understand now. So there's a lighter energy to it. The second thing is having compassion and love when the heavy emotions come up. Or maybe should I talk about number 3? Yeah, let me talk about number 3 actually, because it goes a little bit more easier. So number 2 is understanding that these are unconscious behaviors based on your wounded inner child and trauma. This is based on your fragmented parts of you, the decisions that you make as you're looking back and you're reflecting like, wow, these were unconscious behaviors that came from my wounded inner child, right? My trauma that has happened to me and the fragmented parts within me where I wasn't making decisions for my wholeness, and I definitely wasn't taking a stance of observer and let me choose which way I'm gonna choose to respond, right? So if we can take that lightness to it and that soft heart, it's like, wow, this came from a part of me that I wasn't aware. I was just walking around like a zombie basically, and just reacting to life based on what was given to me, what I inherited, certain things that I experienced, and probably certain things that you signed up for before you came to Earth, right? And I feel like that to me brings so much sovereignty and has given me so much personal power, understanding that certain things have happened to me in my life that I chose. Before I came onto Earth, I decided I'm going to experience this because I want to learn this. That's personal power. That is such personal power to say, I'm choosing to experience this. I'm choosing to experience this, which means I have the power and I know that I'm capable of healing, alchemizing, releasing, and morphing my identity into something else, into something more powerful, right? I have the power to overcome this that I chose to experience. Like, shit, man. That's fucking powerful. So taking this stance, this was an unconscious part of me, right? And we're always, always, always awakening to more levels of consciousness, right? Always. Like recently I shared with my coach how I was like, oh my God, I noticed parts of me, how I was trying to, these little blind spots that I was trying to mimic. A really popular coach, amazing coach. I love her. I love all of her teachings. I love how she speaks. I love her storytelling. I love how she makes me feel. and I was trying to mimic her, right, in my coaching and in my teachings and my speaking skills. Then there was also information that was given to me about how I should, what I should infuse more into my business, which it landed, but instead of filtering it through my own observerness of like, okay, how do I want to bring this in? I started to little bits of pieces of me that were unconscious, just taking what I was told, taking what I saw, because what I wasn't enough. What I was doing wasn't enough, right? Unconscious, until I brought awareness to it, right? Bringing the unconscious conscious. These are very small nuances. This is mastery level, but like, and we're always going to have that. You're always going to be in this place of like bringing the unconscious to conscious. So we want to make it light, and we want to release judgment. The judgment piece is where we attach a feeling on top of a feeling on top of a feeling, and then we're not getting down to the root cause, because you're not even feeling the root cause. You're feeling all of this, and it's like you're not getting anywhere because you're not feeling what is down here. Thank you for the hearts. I love it when you guys interact, right? So being the observer and the witnesser of when you're looking at your actions, looking at your unconscious behaviors, observer and witnesser, removing emotion from it, detaching yourself and the judgment that you, when we look at it, right? So removing emotion, you are the observer, like a scientist that's looking at the different actions and behaviors that are happening. Number 2, acknowledging that these were unconscious parts of you that were doing things unconsciously that you didn't know about, that your wounded inner child, that the trauma parts of you, the fragmented parts of you decided that this man or this thing was just reminded you of your wounding. Do you get what I'm saying? Those trauma parts, which is what you're bringing to light, right? Which is what you're bringing to light. So we can have a softness to the past part of ourselves, like have so much love and compassion for our past, which is number 3. When you do have, just because you release yourself and you become the observer and you're acknowledging that these were unconscious parts of you, feelings still come up, right? Because you're allowing yourself from this place of non-attachment to bring everything up, to be observed, to be witnessed. Again, even these feelings and emotions are to be observed and to be witnessed. And feelings and emotions, the only way to clear them is you got to feel it to heal it and move out. Now, where I want to invite you on how to do this better. Love this. Awesome. How I want to invite you to do this better is by holding yourself with love, grace, and compassion, the way that you would want to be loved and hugged through these emotions, which is giving yourself the love, unconditional space, holding, no judgment, that you didn't receive from mother and father or from your main caregivers when you felt these exact emotions and feelings, or maybe they were even the cause of these feelings and emotions and you didn't know how to hold yourself through it, right? This is a reprogramming, the rewiring that you're doing in your body and in your system that will just change everything, that brings you from fragmented to whole again, right? So much love and compassion, so much grace and forgiveness for yourself, for the decisions that you made, for what you were doing. And really, like literally physically, you can even be holding yourself and hugging yourself. This is something that I've done when I've had heavy emotions of shame or embarrassment, or of like feeling not loved, feeling not wanted, feeling abandoned, feeling not worthy. And I would hold myself and hug myself and love myself and say like you're okay, like I love you, like we're okay. And then allowing my own inner child to speak whatever she wants to say, whatever she's feeling, without judgment and without dismissing her. I feel unliked. I feel unwanted. I feel whatever. I hate this. Like, why am I even doing this? Whatever comes up, holding her through it, because that's what she needs. She needs space, holding, father, about the archetype, and she needs nurture and love, mother, right? Both of these things is what she needs in this exact moment. And that rewires what you are available for love, as a matter of fact. Because you're giving yourself to this, you're saying that this is when I'm available in love, with love, from a man when I'm going through these exact emotions. You have to be able to hold yourself through this to have a man who can equally hold you when you're going through these feelings and emotions, right? So allowing yourself to feel it, to heal it, feel it, to heal it, feel it, to heal it, right? So I'm going to recap the 3 things. You want to be the observer and witness her, right? Of what you're doing. So you're releasing and detaching yourself from what the experience was. You are understanding, bringing awareness that this is from an unconscious part of you that was based on your wounded inner child and trauma. Okay? And the third thing, giving yourself compassion and love with the heavy emotions that do come up. Rewiring your nervous system of how you want to be held when you're feeling like this. And this moves the energy out. And makes you a clean and clear vessel for what you want to create. And God, do you feel so good about yourself afterwards? And the last thing I want to add to this, because this particular woman said that writing it down was a difficult thing. Like, she can speak it and she can think about it, but writing it down, like, that's where she felt a lot of the resistance. And what I want to add to this is that, first of all, the fact that you know that there's a resistance to it is amazing, and that you want to, there's a desire, or there's a willingness to want to move past the resistance, which is so key. You have to have that willingness. And that in itself means that you're being invited to lean in and to lean into your resistance and to crack open to it, which is what you're doing when you're doing shadow work. You're leaning into resistance. You're leaning into the past just to bring awareness. We're not going around digging for everything. We're just bringing what is currently wanting to get worked on, and you're cracking open to it. That's what the third point is today, which is cracking open to it by leaning into the emotions and the feelings and holding yourself through that. But when it comes to writing, one of the reasons why I love writing is because you're taking whatever is in here in your head and you're taking it out and putting it on paper so that your physical vessel with the thoughts is clean and clear. It's clean and clear, and you're taking it out into the 3D world with the intention of alchemization, with the intention of, I'm releasing this, I'm forgiving myself, I'm letting this go, this no longer serves me, and doing a whole ritual with it, meaning burning it like in your outdoor fire pit, or if you have a bowl and you can just rip it up in pieces and burn it. Just don't leave your windows open if there's a breeze. I've had that happen where a fire restarted with myself. Don't do that. Have water available for you, or ripping it up after you're done putting it down the toilet, or if it's in the garbage, make sure you take it out right away. You don't want to leave that energy lingering in your home. But making it ceremonial, making it therapeutic, making it cathartic, making it meaningful, that you're going to take this energy that's no longer serving you in your vessel, pulling it out of your body into paper and physically doing something with it and releasing it. When you do things in the physical world, it will automatically translate into your energetic and spiritual world, right? They both are hand in hand. It's an infinity loop. What you do here affects up there, and what you do up there affects down here. But the physical is like where the real work is, because this is where we live. We live in the physical 3D world. So we have to do the physical 3D things in order to continue to expand ourselves, right? So let me know how this lands. Let me know if this resonates, if this makes shadow work a lot lighter for you, if this makes it more expansive for you. If you do it, let me know how it goes, how these tips go for you. And thank you for hanging out with me and listening to day 151's transmission. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.